Good day, Africa, and welcome to another episode of Diaspora Connect. On this show, we look at the contribution of the diaspora towards development on the continent. The continent has a lot to offer. Likewise, we have a lot of problems on the continent. Fortunately, we have diasporans and individuals on the continent who are doing a lot to solve the problems of the continent. On today's show, we will be exploring, going deeper into higher education on the continent, the challenges that we face, especially with COVID, and then we explore some solutions that are coming up from the diaspora. So stay with us, we'll go for a short break, and when we come, we'll continue with the show. Welcome back. Today on Diaspora Connect, like I already introduced, we are looking at higher education in Africa. We are exploring the challenges that we face, that we've been exposed to because of COVID. Not only COVID, but we'll also be looking at the future and the existing conditions that we have turned blind eye to, and then we'll explore some solutions. To do that, I have on call Dr. Theo Udeigwe. Dr. Theo is the Director for Higher Education Ally. Welcome, Dr. Theo.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad to be on this show.
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Theo, so before we start, please introduce yourself and then please tell us more about Higher Education Ally, what you do, and your contributions to the problems or challenges we have on the continent.
Thank you once again, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I would like to start by, telling you guys a little bit about myself and what the organization Higher Ed Ally does. So my name is Theo Udeigwe, and I describe myself as a scientist. I'm a research scientist. I'm a consultant. I'm also an educator in the fields of environmental sciences, agriculture, and higher education. So I'm a little bit broad, but I see myself as I'm a scientist. So I am currently the director of Higher Ed Ally, and Higher Ed Ally is an institute. It's a higher education consulting firm, a US-based higher education consulting firm, but it's diaspora-led. So it's run by Africans in diaspora, but it's based in the US here. So what we did over the years was, to identify the problems limiting higher education in developing countries and develop proprietary programs. These programs are meticulously crafted to provide customized solutions to some of the issues limiting the growth of higher education in Africa. What I mean by customized solution is that we took into account that the strengths and limitations or weaknesses of institutions vary. So it's not one size fits all. So the problems varies. So we're able to come up with customized solutions for each individual partner institutions that we work with. So our programs are geared towards helping institutions with funding opportunity, multi-institutional collaborations, which are very, very necessary, and research publications, scientific publications are very critical. And overall, when these areas are stimulated, you can obviously tell that the visibility of the institutions, partner institutions will grow. And we also help institutions to add and offer high quality and industry relevant graduate program. So these are the areas that we are focusing on, targeting institutions that we are working with, targeting opportunities for them to help them grow in this aspect. And How do we come up with this? It's through intensive research. The effort started like 5 years ago. We conducted research, talk with administrators of different universities to know what are the things that they need. What do they think are the major factors limiting their growth?
Okay.
And we gather all this together, able to come up with customized programs in order to address all these limitations or challenges facing higher education in Africa.
Right.
And as we go on this interview, I'm going to be telling you more of what we do.
Sure.
And,
So, from what you're saying, it means that you've done a lot of research, especially on Africa's higher education landscape. So, can you tell us, how do you see higher education in Africa?
Well, I will start by saying, of course, there is room for growth. Even in the developed nations, they are still striving, to grow. They are still striving to grow in their education. I've been in the US for a long time. I work as a professor. I develop classes. I teach. I do research and so on. And every day we still compete. We still fight to grow. The same thing applies to higher education in Africa. So there is a room for growth. So if you look at the indices which are used in ranking universities worldwide, look at the indices, you will see research, you will see teaching, you will see citation, right? Then
Sure.
you're going to see is industry income, then international outlook.
Sure.
These are the main indices that are used in ranking, universities. And I always talk to my colleague. When I talk to my colleague, I ask them, where are we in Africa on these indices? Where are we? Where are we on our teaching, the quality of teaching? Where are we on research? Where are we on citation? Where are we on industry outlook and industry income and international outlook? And when you look at all these indices, they are connected. You cannot just single one out and say, well, I want to be good in this area and forget about the rest. No, these are connected. For instance, if you're good in teaching or if you're good in research, let's take research for instance. If you're good in research, obviously you're going to be getting publications. And from publications, you're going to be getting citations. And from citations, you're going to have, your research is going to have value.
And commercialization.
Yes, and so on. And, so they are somewhat connected. So you cannot just isolate one part. So in terms of the direction we're going, I always ask my colleague, where are we on all this? The goal is not that we want to be Harvard or we want to be Yale or we want to be Oxford overnight, but there are some basic things that I believe that institutions in Africa can embrace now to start making some grassroots changes that will lead to bigger things in the future.
Okay.
And from my understanding, I don't think we are doing the best job, so far, but there is room for growth. There are also good examples out there. I know some faculty members who are doing great in their institutions. I know some institutions who are striving, fighting for grants, getting grants, conducting research and having a publication. But overall, I feel that there is still room for growth there. And,
Okay. All right. So before COVID, we had the challenges with research. We had challenges with commercialization. We had challenges with funding. We had challenges with a lot of things, especially when you come to the higher education in Africa. And COVID came. And COVID mainly has come to impact on a lot of things, especially research. It has impacted on teaching and learning. How has this affected your view of higher education in Africa? Has it taken us back? And what will it take to bring us to the level we were and then to even propel us further ahead?
Well, that's a very good question. I will start by saying that COVID-19 was a challenge to everyone, not just Africa. I was in the US when it started, and I saw it was a challenge to everyone, higher education here in the US, here, everywhere. So it was, it is a global challenge. But one thing for sure is that it came with own awareness. It created a certain level of awareness. So, it makes institutions to realize, oh, what are we doing? What have we been doing? Uh, we were not prepared for something like this, and
Sure.
here it is. Then going back to Africa, I would say that we were not expecting anything like that. So it was a blow, it was a major blow to higher education all over Africa. And I want to be fair to Africa because it was also a challenge to universities here, to higher education higher education institutions, even in the Western countries, because during the COVID, a lot of them realized that whatever they were doing, were not somewhat, sustainable. So I would think overall that the COVID was a blow to us. It took us a step backwards, but it also came with its own awareness that it created. For instance, our attitude to online learning wasn't like this before. I remember like 2 years ago, just like 2 years ago, we created some programs here that the essence of the program is to partner with the institutions back home in Africa and offer classes, in partnership with institutions. And this is going to be online. And we kind of got some code, some code feedback. Oh, online. Oh, online. Online was like sounding too strange then. And months later, the COVID hit. You see that? Then, now the focus, that was when everyone realized that, oh, we're not prepared to advance.
Sure.
So, I mean, the COVID-19 brought its own awareness as well, at least letting us know that our method of instruction, we need to think outside the conventional. Online instruction, it is a way to go. So yes, COVID brought us back a little bit, it took us backwards, but it also created some awareness because a lot of institutions now reach out to us and be like, hey, how can we get some online platform? Can you help us, get an online platform? And a lot of institutions that never thought of developing online teaching platform, now are thinking about it and developing that.
Okay.
I know it's going to take a little while because the infrastructures, are not sufficient in the first place because, for instance, internet is not a common thing in Africa. It is common, but it's still expensive. Unlike here, where it is basically everywhere, you can stay in a coffee shop and do your homework and browse and do anything. So in terms of infrastructure, there's still some limitation. But once that awareness is created, I think that's the most important thing, the development from that.
Okay.
So I think with what we have learned from the COVID, and if we actually, put everything together, I think we're going to make more progress because a lot of institutions, for instance, now are able to add that online component to what they have, which they never thought about before. So overall, at the end, it's definitely going to be a plus, to Africa. We just got to make best use of the opportunity we find ourselves.
Would you say that COVID came at an opportune time? Because from your submission, you said that when you came up with the proposals, Africa, it seems we were not ready to accept these proposals. But then higher ed ally came in and now you are advancing things. So basically, we understand that you are doing a lot in terms of online learning and then trying to transition from the traditional face-to-face learning to online learning. So besides that, what other interventions do higher education ally have, especially lined up for Africa, taking into consideration the COVID?
That is a very good question. And one thing that we have done is that, as I briefly mentioned earlier, we identified the limitations, the challenges. Luckily, we all have origin in Africa. I was born in Nigeria, and I went to high school there and undergraduate, and I came over to the United States for my master's, PhD, and after that I got a job as a professor, work in the industry, and so on. So we have a background that I would say that most people don't have. So we're a team of experts, scientists, engineers, professors, industry professionals that came together, looking at all the limitations that African universities face and design programs, to help them tackle this. So one of the areas that we have been successful in is a program area that we use to advance or boost or help institutions boost external funding opportunities. So this focus on helping institutions boost external funding opportunity, multi-institutional collaboration, that is to collaborate with other institutions. These are very vital things here. And then research, scientific publication as well. And when you do this, you're going to improve the visibility of that institution. That institution will stand a chance of getting more. I mean, we don't give money to people we don't know,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So you just need to give money to somebody you don't know, or give funding to someone you don't know. You want to know that this person has a reputation, this person has been in that field, got established, and is visible. So eventually, it's those that have that will keep on getting. Those that don't have, if you're hiding behind, if you're not visible, you will not get. So those that are visible, they already established themselves. They will keep on getting. So one area that we have excelled in is helping institutions, source for external funding opportunities, multi-institutional collaborations, and research publications. So we have a capacity enhancement component to everything we are doing. So for instance, one of our program areas, we start by organizing a seminar exclusively designed for the partner institution on grant proposal development and multi-institutional collaboration, where we teach faculty members how to approach grant writing.
Okay.
And we don't stop there. We go further to identify viable funding opportunities, for the partner institution. And we don't even stop there. We go far as working with the institution, using our scientists, our engineers, and professors in our Scholar Alliance to work with the institutions to fulfill at least one of the grants or proposals. Then we also offer expert opinion on if they have any existing projects going on, because we have a team of scientists, a team of engineers in our network, professionals, professors, and other industry, professionals. So we use these guys to, offer these, services. So we don't stop there. We also retain these institutions in our database, put them in our database. If there is any funding opportunity that comes up, for instance, there may be a university in the United States that may be looking to work with a university in Africa. Maybe they have a project on climate change and they want to know how the result will vary from the US to Africa. They may need a partner institution in Africa. And that's where we come in to connect, institutions in Africa with, collaborators here. So basically, there are just a bunch of stuff we are doing, but the goal is to make a change.
Sure.
We want to change numbers. We want to go from one, for instance, an institution that maybe have one publication in a year. We want to change it to 2.
Sure.
An institution that never apply for grants, we want them to apply for grant. Or if they have been applying to 3 grants per year, we want to go from 3 to 5.
Sure.
And so start changing, those numbers. So that's one aspect. Another aspect I want to quickly talk about is one of the programs that we added before COVID, which was a program that is, is based on helping partner institutions in Africa add high quality and industry relevant graduate programs. So basically, we partner with institutions, and we're going to be the one to offer these courses. We have our online platform developed. So the partner institution will be the one to recruit, the students. So this is how it works. So the advantage of that is that it can give them the capacity to offer programs in areas that they don't have the capacity originally.
Sure.
Okay. And it gives them the capacity to offer online program, because we also have the online platform fully developed. For instance, now we have a Master of Science program in environmental science and technology and data analytics. We have graduate certificate programs in organic agriculture, environmental soil science, environmental science and technology, machine learning, and so on. So we have graduate certificate programs in this area. Some institutions don't have the capacity or the faculty to stand for these programs, but with such a partnership which we have created, they can partake in offering programs in this area without having to build the faculty, which will take them time and cost them money. So these are areas that we are trying to stimulate changes, in higher education in Africa. I can go on for a whole day.
So I understand. Obviously, you are doing impressive things. These are some of the current things that we want to see, especially going forward. So we take a break and we sip water and then come back and then we look at the contact, the mode of contact and all that, so that we'll be able to advance the interventions that higher ed ally have for Africa. So let's take a break and we'll come back. This is AAU TV. This is Diaspora Connect. So on today's show, we are looking at the higher education landscape in Africa and the interventions that the diaspora is doing to make higher education in Africa the best one that we want, we expect to see going forward. So stay with us. We'll come back very soon. Welcome back. This is AAU TV. This is Diaspora Connect. So before we left, Doc, we were talking a lot about your interventions in Africa, how you support universities to set up online systems and then support them through your platform that you host. So let's look at this. These are a lot interesting stuff that you are doing. What is the mode of contact? Do you approach the higher education institutions and then sign MOUs with them, or these higher education institutions have to chase you? Or do students have to come directly to higher education ally? How does it work? How do we tap into your interventions?
That's a very good question. The simple answer to that is that we partner with institutions. So the partnership is meant to be with institutions. So we seek out for institutions. We reach out to institutions, have meetings with them. This is what we have. No, they tell us their problems. Of course, we know their problems already. We just want to hear some of the specific, issues that they have. So we have meetings with our institutions. We may see an institution and reach out to them. We also make announcements sometimes, and institutions will reach out to us for announcement. And AAU has also been helping us to put out the announcement out there. So we got some calls from institutions that are interested in our programs, from AAU. And we also put out announcement, social media, things fly around.
Sure.
Basically, institutions reach out to us, and we also reach out to institutions. And one thing is that, we directly with our students. So we partner with institutions, to effect or implement our program. One thing I also want to point out, it's maybe we're going to come to that later, but some other activities we are doing with publishing. There is a partner journal, an affiliate journal, which is a journal for the advancement of developing economies. Higher Ed Ally is affiliated to that journal. So we have been using this journal as a tool to groom scholars from developing countries. What I mean as a tool is that this is a scientific journal, just like any other scientific publication outlet, but we are doing something differently. What we are doing differently is that we understand the limitations of scholars from developing countries. We understand their limitations. So when we receive a work we receive a manuscript, we just don't, if the manuscript doesn't meet expectation, we just don't return it. We still go ahead and send it to one of our scholars or two of our reviewers to go through this manuscript, review them and give some substantial feedback, to these scholars to help them improve on that or improve in their future work. So this takes a lot of work. That is not a conventional way that journals operate, but understanding the limitations, of these scholars from developing countries, we decided to add that aspect to what we do. It makes
Okay.
it difficult for us, but are we getting some results? Are we making some people happy? Are we recording some success? I would say yes. It's one of the things that, we've been doing.
Okay. Obviously, there are challenges, and I think having unique solutions to unique problems that we have on the continent is the way to go. So, interestingly, right now we need solutions, and that is what Higher Education Ally. I always say Higher Education Ally. I hope the ed is for education, right? So.
Yeah, the education, not
Okay,
education.
so all right, so higher ed ally, so that is interesting. So going forward, how do you see higher education in Africa 10 years ahead, especially with your intervention?
Okay. Especially with our intervention. Let me just start with, how do I see it without our intervention? Then I will switch
Sure.
with our intervention. So I think the simplest way to look at that is that, we cannot just isolate higher education and expect it to do well or do bad, on its own. I think it's a component of the system. It's a component of government. That's where leadership comes in. Leadership is critical in Africa.
Sure.
Leadership is critical. That's where it comes in. So the point I'm trying to make is that for the government that is progressive, for the government that is growing Africa, obviously, others, higher education is going to grow with it. But for those ones that are on reverse gear, that have their gear in reverse, in 10 years, well, there is not going to be substantial, growth, or there's going to be negative growth. So when it comes to the outlook for higher education in Africa, I think I would defer a lot to the role of the government, because if the government have plans to grow, higher education going to grow with it, just like with other sectors, health, agriculture, environment, education, they're all going to grow together. So that is more of the work of the government. So any progressive government, I'm sure that higher education will grow. For the ones that are not progressive, well, they're not, higher
Sure.
education is not going to grow.
Sure.
And one thing to point out is that there is room to grow. There is room for growth. There is room. I mean, we are not where we're supposed to be, but that shouldn't make us feel bad because even here, a lot of institutions during the COVID, they have to close. A lot of institutions closed. A lot of institutions merged. A lot of institutions just vanished. Even here in the US. So it shouldn't make us feel bad, but we need a collective effort. One thing I want to point out is that there is a strong need for diaspora-led external model programs to strategically, solve the problems or to strategically provide solutions to the limitations in research, teaching, service, and the institutional visibility among African universities. So there is a need for diaspora-led external model programs. And this is what we have succeeded in creating in Higher Ed Ally. So we are a bunch of scientists, engineers, professors, industry professionals came together, create programs to exclusively target, provide customized solutions to some of the limitations or challenges facing higher education in our
Okay.
developing countries
All
in
right. Thank
Africa.
you very much, Dr. Theo. So, in wrapping up what will be your final words? So in your final words, we want to also hear something about your contacts, your website and all that, so that if we want to contact you further or form partnerships, we will see how to approach it.
Thank you so much. So I would like to thank you guys again. And one thing I want to leave everyone with is that there is room to grow, and there are innovative partnerships out there that African universities should tap into, and Higher Ed Ally is an exemplary institute. What we are doing is different because it was born out of research and dedication and love, for the continent. So we put something exclusive together, something that there is no entity that can boast exactly of what we offer, right now. So I would call on administrators, higher education administrators. I would call on ministries or ministers of education in Africa, and I will call on foundations that sponsor or support higher education in Africa, to look at some of the programs that we carry. Our programs are meticulously crafted because we are, we go by numbers.
Sure.
We go by numbers. You want to see a change. So they are meticulously crafted
Sure.
to bring a change.
Okay.
Our website is www.higheredally.org, and you can easily reach us at using the email programs at higheredally.org.
Okay.
And we're always ready to talk with institutions. We have some free resources that we offer to institutions. One of them, for instance, is the journal. That journal that I talked about is free.
Okay.
The publication and review in that journal has been free. We have never collected 1 cent or 1 cedi, from anybody.
Okay.
8 years now. So,
All
so
right.
these are some resources that we offer. We want institutions to tap into these free resources and our services.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Theo Udeigwe, for your organization's contribution to higher education in Africa. It was nice to have you on call, and we entreat all higher education institutions in Africa to get in touch with Higher Ed Ally and then explore the resources that they do have, so that together we can move higher education in Africa. This is AAU TV, and the show is Diaspora Connect. I was your host for today, Schnineda Kwaku Ankomah. Thank you for watching.